Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to homeschool. After Easter break, I want to start today's class with the good news. Because usually we have bad news. The bad news is that we're still stuck in the house. We're still, at least for a little while more. That's the bad news. But the good news is that soon, little by little, everybody's going to go back to school. So I am hoping that it will happen smoothly, and I'm hoping that everything is going to be okay, and I'm sure that everyone is looking forward to that as well. So that's the good news. I heard something about the 27th of April. All the politicians are talking about it, how they want to gradually, little by little, open things up again, go back to normal again, or to some kind of normal. I don't think we'll ever go back to completely normal after this experience. But I do believe that things are on the way to getting better. They really are. So that's the good news. On the 20th of April, the kindergartens are opening, and then on the 27th, 1st to 4th grade, and some of the professionalizing courses, which I think includes yours, hälsouppväxtfag, will be starting again somewhat. I don't know how it's going to be for us because as many of you may know, I don't live in Selbu, and I am one of the teachers who doesn't drive to work. I think I'm the only teacher who commutes by bus, and they have removed the 8 a.m. bus, which used to be the bus that I took every day. So I'm trying to get it reinstated. I have talked to the mayor of Selbu. Do you understand mayor? The mayor, ordförande. I think I'm saying it right. I talked to the mayor of Selbu. I talked to the principal of the school, and they both signed my petition that's going around online to reinstate that 8 a.m. bus. But I don't know if it will be reinstated soon enough for me to be there to teach. So I'm going to request of the principal that I can still teach you from home until the buses come back. I don't know if it's going to be possible. If not, I'm going to have to find myself a place to stay in Selbu and then teach for the remainder of the year and see what happens from August on. But in whatever case, I will fulfill my obligation to you. I'll be teaching you until we finish Unit 5 of this book. Let me show you. Because this book has 10 chapters. I like to do things in a simple, straightforward way. The book has 10 chapters. So we teach 5 chapters this year, 5 chapters next year. Boom. And we're done with it. I don't like going back and forth in the book. I try to skip some things, but not too much. And I try to do my best so that we do a comprehensive set of studies. So I have one more piece of good news for you. You have one more week to finish your essays. Those of you who have handed it in to me, I'm very happy with everything that I have read that you have written. Compared to the first paper that you remember last year when I first came in, August, September, we started to talk about, all right, let's write an essay about who we are, our peculiarities, our idiosyncrasies, who we are. Let's talk about our friends, what we like, what we don't like. Remember that? Everybody had to write an essay. And back then, everybody did reasonably well, but compared to that, there has been an enormous growth. So I'm very proud of you that you have been listening, taking notes. You are really doing well. And of course, you know, it's okay to make mistakes here and there, little things that we still need to fix, but there has been an enormous growth. So I'm very pleased to say that I feel like the grades are going to be 4, 5, 6, I think. That's what I'm predicting from what I've seen. And you will have an opportunity to, you can talk to me and let me know what kind of things you're worried about, what you want to fix. If you have some time to talk to me about it. I set off, I think it was the 20th, wasn't it? The 20th of April. But if needed, I'm willing to extend that until the 24th of April, if it's needed. Some of you have already handed in a complete essay. Just like you probably need to clean up a little bit here and there. Maybe make it a little bit more compact, but still, they're finished products. Some of you have already handed in very good finished products, and you won't have to worry about it. If I see that you need some improvement, some things that you can do, if you're sitting at a 3+ and I see that you can do a 4 and even more, well, that rhymed, a 4 and even more. Yeah, if I see that you can do that, then I'll and this is definitely a possibility. I can see all the grades going 4, 5, 6. I feel like everyone is doing tremendously well in this class. You've always been able to hand in tasks. You have participated with the online studies. I feel like everybody has been coming in, which is amazing. It really is amazing that everyone has been coming in. And I'm really, really happy with the progress of this class. I have told your mentor, I believe your mentors, you have 2 mentors, right? Ingrid, Teresa, and Kari Johanna. And I have talked you up to them. I've had only good things. I don't have any complaints. I have only said good things about this group. So I'm happy to inform you that everything's going to be okay for you girls in this class. No worries. So in the course of this week, I haven't been able to do everything yet. I'm sorry to say, because I have a lot of stuff. Girls, a lot of stuff. All of my groups that I used to teach in the classroom are now virtual classes. So that increases the amount of work that I have to do. I feel like I work double right now because I have to prepare the classes, I have to prepare a video setting for my classes, I have to prepare a lot more than when I teach inside a classroom. But the one advantage of this, to me at least, is that now the time that I would be traveling to and from work, I can spend time preparing at home, and I can sit down or even lie down in between classes, which is something I never was able to do. So there are some advantages. And I think for you kids as well, there have been some advantages of staying home and doing this. So now that I have spent almost 10 minutes telling you about some bad news, lots of good news. Good news, you have an extension to write your essay. I am available to help you. If you're not ready by the 20th, you have until the 24th. More good news. We might be coming back to class soon. So that's 4 pieces of good news. So everything's going to be okay. We have to be hopeful. I think I told you girls when we were talking about ourselves, my name is Pollyanna for a reason. My dad read that book about the little optimistic girl who was always happy, who tried to see the good in everything. So I try to be like that to an extent. Sometimes it's kind of hard to find the silver lining, find something that's good in a bad situation, but I really try. So let's get started. Get your books. Skills. Interesting. There was a course, an English course in my hometown in Brazil where I was born, and they had a course called Skill. And one of my very good friends, who was my mentor growing up, taught there. And it's a good name, Skills. It makes you feel like I'm going to learn myself some skills. All right. You know, now you probably understand why I was never successful as a stand-up comedian, right? Improve your skills. This is what we're going to be talking about today. Improve your skills. Pages 144, 145. Giving instructions. Let's talk about this for a moment. Let us just say that you buy something new. You buy a phone. You buy a phone. This here I got as a gift from a very good friend. This came in a box with a little booklet inside with a manual. What's a manual? If you could explain to me in a few words, if you could give me the definition of a manual. What's a manual? What type of book is a manual? Tell me in your own words. I'll be giving you feedback. I'll be typing because I am there with you right now, but I'm also not there because I wake up in the morning, I prepare all of this, I set it out into the world, and then I come back and sit with you throughout the entire thing, and I communicate with you. And then in the end, we'll all be together on a conference call. A manual. So a manual is a type of book that teaches you how to use something, how to do something. Manuals have a lot of instructions. And the topic today is exactly that. Instructions. We're going to be talking about that. Giving instructions. So here on pages 144 and 145, you have a very comprehensive guide of how to give good instructions. For example, I'm going to give you examples of instructions and you tell me if you think which ones you think are the best. So here's the first one. Here's one. Here's another. So the first piece of instructions that I've given you, just do it, which is also the slogan for Nike. The second is open the bag and remove the contents. So if you buy some food that you're going to make and you have never made it before, and then you have a little booklet with instructions, and then you open it up and it says in big letters, just do it. That's no good. That is not helpful at all. That is not anything that can teach you how to make the food. You need explicit, clear instructions. Open the bag, remove the contents. So those things, when you tell people to do something, but you're not really giving an order, hey, you're actually teaching them how to do something. Here, when you give instructions in this manner, you use a verb form called imperative. Let me write it down for you. How small is that? I hope you can read it. Imperative. So in Norwegian, I think it's called imperativ. Gjør should. I was on. I learned this in 2002. I think it was around November, December of 2002. Is that when some of you were born, or you weren't even born yet then? Anyway, so I was sitting on the bus. It was crowded, and then the driver kept saying, "Direct bak i bussen," telling everyone to move to the back of the bus. He said, "Move to the back of the bus, otherwise I am not driving from here." And then somebody all the way in the back said, "Should." So he was basically saying, drive. So when you just say, drive, eat, drink this liquid, take this pill, that's giving orders, that's imperative. The imperative form of verbs. And I learned this in Norwegian in a practical situation. And I remember that when this guy said this, the driver didn't want to start driving. He's probably thinking, "Who are you to tell me to start driving?" So the driver sat there for a few more minutes until everybody went all the way to the back of the bus. I have lots of interesting, I guess I'm playing fast and loose with the word interesting, but I have a lot of bus stories. I have taken lots of buses since I moved here. Anyway, imperative. What do I want you to remember about this verb form? It is, let me write this down for you, giving orders or instructions. We use the imperative form. Drive, eat, drink this soda. No, nobody's going to give somebody that order. No, don't drink soda, drink juice. Open your books. Get up. Those are orders or instructions. Orders are a little bit more like, it's almost rude to say, hey, get up. It's almost rude to say that. But instructions is when you're actually teaching somebody to do something. First, open the book. How do you learn a language? First, open the book. Look at the pages. Read what's written. All of those, like giving instructions. Teaching somebody how to do something. So that's what the imperative is used for. And we're going to, in these 2 pages here, examine some examples of giving instructions from a different perspective. I'm going to now disappear from the screen. But I'm still here somehow. And I don't know if you girls are doing that on your own time. That's why I feel like it is important for you to listen, use this type of listening material in the classes. Because I'm sure you get a lot of listening in English. You get a lot of it done when you are watching your Netflix series. How many of you in here watch Netflix series? Raise your hands. Oh, wait, I can't see you, so I don't know if you're raising your hand, but just type me in the chat box if you watch Netflix. I'm sure lots of you, even if you're too lazy to type me right now, lots of you watch Netflix series. And when I ask you, how many of those series on Netflix are in English? Most people are going to say, well, a lot of them are. A lot of them are. I'm positive that you get a lot of listening, a lot of listening. From this type of situation, watching Netflix, playing video games with people from all over the world, you get a lot of listening practice. But I want you to also have some academic input. So if you're not visiting this page, at least I know that you will be visiting this page when you are in my class, because I'm visiting it with you. So let's listen. The pages are 144 and 145. Let me write this down. You know this program I'm using with you girls? I've had it for 11 years on my computer. I bought it, and I used to just play around on what is now called Twitch. It used to be called JTV. And I used to have a channel on there. I used to have a blast on there. I used to really enjoy playing around on there. So the pages are 144, 145. And all these cute special effects and all this stuff, I used to I used them a lot in the past. I never thought I'd use it for teaching, but here I am. So page 144, open your book. Do not space out right now. Do not start thinking about other things. Focus. Look at the words as you listen to this. It's very important. Let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to this presentation for future healthcare workers. Healthcare workers risk strain on their backs. Very often...
Just a minute. It's actually page 145.
Hello, and welcome to this presentation for future healthcare workers. Healthcare workers risk strain on their backs. Very often this is because we do things in the wrong way, for example when lifting a patient. Therefore, I will show you how to lift people or heavy objects correctly. Before we start, I will explain some difficult words you might need to learn before we start. Resilient means elastic. Assistance means help. And firm means good and strong. First, it is important to have the right shoes, with resilient soles. Second, if possible, you should always ask for assistance when lifting patients or heavy objects. When you lift, you should have a straight back, like this. Show. Then bend your knees, like this. Show. This is because you risk hurting your back if you use it to lift. Then, before you lift, make sure you have a firm grip on the object. If you are going to lift a patient, the best grip is under arms and behind knees, here and here. Point. Finally, when you lift, straighten your knees. Then, of course, you repeat the procedure when putting the object or patient back down. Do you remember the different steps? Do you have any questions?
So here in this text, on page 145, you have a variety of instructions. So here, there's supposed to be illustrations for this, but this is the only illustration that I found, which doesn't really have anything to do with the topic, but it's someone sitting at a desk. So the whole purpose of the instructions here is to teach people how to lift a patient. I don't know if you got all the steps, but if you look at the text, I want you to all look at the text with me on page 145. 145. It starts on 144, but it's actually on 145. Let us look for the verbs and the instructions that are given, because here he gave a lot of details. First you do this and you have to make sure. He explained it a lot, but I want you to extract, plukke ut, extract the verbs. Just very, very straightforward. I am going to open a Word document here so that I can write for you. I'll be looking at the chat box and giving you feedback on what you're writing, because I am not here right now, but I'm also here right now. I am there, but I'm not there. So I pretty much teach this class twice. I teach it when I prepare, and then I teach it when I'm there with you, which is great. I love teaching, so who's complaining? Alright, so let's look at the very first set of instructions. It starts like this. Healthcare workers risk strain on their backs. Very often, this is because we do things the wrong way. For example, when lifting a patient. Therefore, I will show you how to lift people or heavy objects correctly. So here in this basic introduction, there are no verbs in the imperative. Do this, do that, none of that. The second part is also giving some words that people are going to need so that they can understand the instructions. He's teaching the words resilient. He's teaching the word assistance. So he's teaching that before he starts with the actual instructions. First, it is important to have the right shoes with resilient soles. Second, if possible, you should always ask for assistance. That's the first instruction. Ask for assistance. Ask for assistance. Do that. Ask for assistance. So that's a sentence there in the imperative form. Ask for assistance. It's like saying, do this. Come on, do it. Ask for assistance. Second, if possible, you should always ask for assistance when lifting patients or heavy objects. Next, when you lift, you should have a straight back. Have a straight back. So stand like straight back. And then in parentheses, it says show. So at this point, when you're giving the instructions, you have to physically demonstrate. You have to physically demonstrate. Physically demonstrate what you want the person to do. Ask for assistance, no need to demonstrate. Have a straight back. So in this case, you would Show the people you're giving the instructions to how to do it. Have a straight back. So ask for assistance. Have a straight back. Next, this is because you risk hurting your back if you use it to lift. Then before you lift, make sure you have a firm, make sure you have a firm grip. It's like when you hold something very, very carefully, but firmly, so you know that it's not going to fall. So make sure, the next set of instructions, make sure you have a firm grip on the object. Make sure of that. Do it. So I am emphasizing it and overly saying things and exaggerating a bit. Do it. Ask for this. Do that. Because I want you to remember that that's the imperative form. Give orders. Give instructions. Imperative. And as you may or may not have guessed, this is going to be something that you will be tested on. But no stress, because everything that we'll do to finish this school year is going to be as low stress as possible, because you have enough to worry about as things are. That's why I've been giving you extensions. That's why I'm allowing everyone pretty much into my life. You can contact me. People have been contacting me on Instagram, Facebook, email. I'm very open to everyone that needs assistance, that needs help, because I want this to be easier for you than it would have been if I were not available. So I'm here, I'm on video, I'm teaching my class and trying to give you as close to the experience of sitting in a classroom as you possibly can have. So let's keep doing this. Ask for assistance, have a straight back, make sure you have a firm grip on the object. Firm grip. There we go. The next one. Finally, when you lift, straighten your knees. Another instruction, straighten your knees. Do it. Straighten your knees. That's another set of instructions there for you. Then, of course, repeat the procedure. Do it. Repeat the procedure. So those are all the steps to lifting a patient properly. Nurses that work at a hospital, they sometimes have to lift a patient. So here are steps that you can take in order to do this correctly. I would like everybody to please, if it's not too much to ask, open your books to page 146. Did you think it was going to be something dramatic when I said that? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to disappear from the screen just a little bit. Please look at this page. I want to make sure that everybody knows which pages we're working on. Those are the pages we'll be working on right now. Still about giving instructions. So I'm going to put myself here somewhere where I can be seen, but also where, so you know which pages we're looking at. So we're going to practice this right now, and I want you to please focus on the verbs in the imperative form. I want you to focus on that because that's the grammar, the language focus of what we're doing. Here are some easy exercises to stay fit. Combine the instructions with the right illustration. Then practice by giving instructions to a partner. To get a strong body, which can endure hard physical work, here are some exercises to do once a day. Letter A. To strengthen your tummy, lie on your back. There you go. There's an imperative. Lie on your back. Go ahead. Do it. Lie on your back. That's imperative right there. Bend your knees. Another set of instructions here. First, lie on your back, bend your knees, bend. Not bending, not would you bend, or it's bend. That's the imperative form. Bend your knees. Keep your soles of your feet down. Another instruction. Do sit-ups in a row. 30, okay, 30 sit-ups in a row. Repeat the activity. So all of those are instructions. So letter A, let's look at the pictures that we have there. Let us look at them. I am going to magnify this a little bit so that you can see better. And we're going to talk about what's in the pictures. And after this class, if you have your pajamas on, it doesn't matter. If your hair is not done, it doesn't matter. Please get on the conference call with me. If you don't want to be on video, that's fine. So the most important thing is that you show up somehow, because that counts as your participation in this class. Okay, so here we have the second picture. The second picture is a guy lying down on the floor. So that is the one that matches letter A. To strengthen your tummy, lie on your back. So on the second picture, he's lying on his back, so that's the one. The second set of instructions. Warm your muscles with 10 minutes of jogging. So warm your muscles. Do it. When you want to think of imperative, think of the slogan for Nike. Just do it. So Nike's telling us, put on those shoes, spend a few $100 on those shoes first, and then put them on and just do it. Just go play tennis, dance, play golf, do it. So that's giving instructions. Orders, you can also use that for orders, right? When you're in the military, do it. Do 10 sit-ups. So it's orders, instructions, imperative. I said it a gazillion times because I want you to remember this. If you don't remember anything about today, but you remember imperative and just do it, I'll be happy, because that's probably the first big step into understanding imperative. The second one, warm up your muscles, and they're talking about jogging. So let us look at what we have here. Which one of these pictures portrays jogging? So if you typed in the chat box, if you typed that it's the first picture, you are correct. I'm just going to find something that everyone that gets a good, correct answer deserves. A thumbs up. Thumbs up. There we go. The next set of instructions, letter C. To strengthen your arms, do push-ups. First, stand on your hands and knees or toes. Keep your back straight. So all of those are Imperative. Keep your back straight. Hey, you, do it. Keep your back straight. Imperative. Keep your back straight. Bend your arms until your nose is 5 centimeters above the floor. Repeat as many times as you can. So here you have 2 pictures left. Which one is it? Out of those 2 pictures that you have left, out of those 2 pictures that you have left in the picture, in a set of pictures, letter C is number 4. Number 4, the woman is doing girl push-ups. You know how sexist it is to call those girl push-ups? They're just an easier form of push-ups, because when you straighten your legs and you do push-ups, you feel a lot more. You feel your arms up here, up here. I love exercising, and I do mostly girl push-ups. They're called girl push-ups, but I try to do 1 or 2 each time of the harder push-ups sometimes, which is with your legs straightened. And finally, the very last one, letter D, we only have 1 picture left. It's a guy doing an exercise to strengthen his back. To strengthen means to make it stronger. To strengthen your back, and then you have a set of instructions on what you should do to strengthen your back. Place yourself on your knees and hands. First, lift your leg. Again, do it. Lift your leg. Second, hold and count slowly to 10. Then switch to the opposite arm and leg. So here, switch, lift. When you talk to someone like that, because usually when you're talking about something that you're doing right at this moment, you will say, I am lifting my arms. I hope I don't have a hole under my arm so I can do it without embarrassing myself. I'm lifting my arms right now. Lifting. Because I'm conjugating the verb in the present continuous. I am doing this right at this moment. But when I say lift your arms, I'm telling somebody to do it. And that's the imperative, which is the superstar of this class today. Imperative. Well, in the spirit of good news, the next thing we're going to do now, everyone is going to get into the conference call together. It will not take more than 15 to 20 minutes tops. I would like people to talk a bit more during the conference calls, because you have to get used to talking on these conference calls, because it might happen that you will have an evaluation like that. I don't know how it's going to be from this time on. If it's not decided that everyone's going to go back to the physical classes, we might have to have some evaluations online like this, and you will have to talk. I'm thinking about doing it in small groups. We can do, for example, there are 9 or 10 people in this class. We can have 3 small groups. And then in those 3 small groups, and me, so I will ask questions and have you talk. My idea for one last big thing that you're going to do, because this essay was a big deal, because you did one big one in the beginning of the year, the school year, and this essay that you did and that you're still doing, that you're still working on, this was a big deal. And then you're going to have a final project to do, which I don't want to give you too much to do, so I want to do something simple. I want you pick one chapter from the book, from the ones that we have studied. For example, maybe you really liked the first chapter we had. Let me give you a good example of this. The very first chapter we had. And then you have some texts there. This is me, English, why English? Maybe you should know something about me. Problem page. So you're going to choose one of those. You're going to read about it. And then in that conference call, you will tell me what you read and what you understood. You will just talk about that chapter. You don't need to even write anything down unless it is for your own self, because some people like to write things down before they talk out loud. So if you feel more comfortable doing that, it's okay. But you will choose one chapter and then talk about one text from the chapter. This is going to be for May. I'm thinking this is going to be one of the last things that we do that will give you a grade of some sort sometime in May. I will be having a meeting today with one of your mentors and probably the rest of the teachers that also teach your class, and we'll be discussing what to do about this stuff, but you won't have any more written work. The last big written thing you're going to do is this essay that you're handing in either on the 20th or on the 24th if you need a longer period of time to do it. At any rate, the link for the conference call is already in the chat box, and I'm just waiting for you to click on it and join me in the conference call. I don't know how many people have seen the link, so I'm just waiting. Because the minute look at my face. The minute this is over, the chat box disappears, and then you can no longer see the link. So that's why I'm kind of stalling, and just to give you time to click on it. Alright, I reckon everyone is in there. If not, I will send the link to everybody on Facebook. We have a Facebook group, just our group. So I'll send the link to you guys on there too. Click on it and welcome to the conference call.